Opponent says, how do you Titan players always have everything? And some expletive at the end, but you know. Thank you, opponent. You just gave me something to put in the highlights of this YouTube video. Also, I do like the numbers, because this list is only playing 3 Gardens, 3 Sagas, but, you know, it feels like we just have exactly enough copies of these cards to draw them or search for them when they're relevant. Amulet should never win a match against Neoform. It's always a rare thing. It's like spying a unicorn. Seeing a unicorn, spying a unicorn, however you want to say it. This never happens. Hello and welcome everybody. Today we are going to be playing, I guess, kind of an interesting Amulet list, something that I thought up, and the idea is to leverage Castle Garenbrig and Amulet, something that is really not a controversial thing to say, but has fallen out of favor a lot recently. This little land that just ramps us from 4 to 6 mana secretly is more powerful than you'd think, entering untapped if we have a forest, or anytime we have a Dryad in play, it always enters untapped, effectively serving as a 2-mana source for getting up to Titan. But the most key thing about Castle Garenbrig being that it is not hit by Force of Vigor, and it's not exposed to Leyline Binding or Prismatic Ending like Amulet. We don't have to board it out against Blood Moons like Urza's Saga, and in the case of Mycosynth Gardens, activating it to try to copy an Amulet and getting the Amulet destroyed, or, you know, worst case scenario, it resolves and then getting forced and blown out. You know, you get blown out by them killing both your land and Amulet. Those are some pretty big detriments, and Castle Garenbrig not only doesn't fall into any of those traps, but it also happens to help shore up those traps, being a ramp land on its own. So that's kind of the concept where this list is starting from. And then, of course, if we're trimming on Sagas, going down to 3 instead of 4, just so we have enough to draw it in our opener, especially on mulligans when we need to guarantee a turn 1 Amulet, but not so many that will be flooded on them, and not so many that we're boarding out a full 4 lands every time we're playing against Blood Moon, since we only really have the 1 land to bring in anyways. So we're cutting on the 1 Saga, which also means that I feel safe cutting 1 map, as it's more or less not necessary, considering some of our draws are not going to be relying on Saga to set up a map. I find most often that happens when you have like a start that has a Saga and an Amulet but no bounce land, but here we're playing 10 bounce lands plus 3 Garenbrigs to try to get there naturally, so hopefully we won't need the map. That could be something that comes up though. And then there's not a whole lot else that's like different here. We have a main board Bog, which is a little different. We are lacking Cultivator Colossus, because honestly, these are the only set of cards that I guaranteedly want to be playing in my Amulet list. I'm not a personal big fan of I was about to say Explorer. That's obviously not true with 4 copies in the list. I'm not a big personal fan of the card Azusa, just because I feel like a lot of times we just play Azusa. Let's say we go turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Azusa, and setting up for our Titan, and then our Titan gets countered, or they discard our Titan, and we're left with an Azusa that does nothing. You know, that can come up, whereas Dryad is always relevant on its own, even without a Titan, because it represents the threat of Valakut, and oftentimes Dryad is a good blocker and requires an answer on its own, so, and also fixes us under, you know, the circumstance of a Blood Moon coming into play. If we have a forest out, we can slam our Dryad after and unlock our mana, so there's a lot of upsides to playing Dryad. However, there's really not a whole lot of upside to even playing 1 Azusa. Like, I suppose with Garenbrig and Mycosynth Gardens, playing a singleton Azusa to pack for in order to get, you know, up to exactly 9 mana to transmute and play a Titan, or to get exactly up to, you know, to get up to 6 mana as opposed to 5 in some of those weird scenarios where Dryad doesn't fit the role. I mean, those can come up, but usually Arboreal Grazer will be the pack target of choice, because we're just going to be playing around a removal spell anyways. Like, we don't want to just lose to Bolt on Azusa, cutting us off of our Titan line. And so I found that it's a very corner case thing to be packing for Azusa, so this is not something that's like super new. I've done it in the past, although I don't think I've ever directly mentioned it, but I don't think that it bothers me in any way not to be playing a copy of Azusa, so I'm just going without it. That said, we are playing a full 36 lands, which is like a ton. Honestly, I would like to be playing as few as 33, but not only would that require me to cut 3 lands, but it would also require me to add 3 cards. And, you know, I could play Colossus, but I don't like it because whenever you draw it, it's basically a mulligan, and it's like only really, in my opinion, super relevant as a pack target against the control decks and like Solitude decks, which is a little bit narrower than you might otherwise assume. And then extra random cards like Azusa, Sakura Tribe Elder, I guess, the Expedition map that we're not playing for the reason that we're only playing 3 sagas. Like, there's really not a lot of cards other than this core right here that I even want to be playing. And to be honest, in some lists I've been experimenting with cutting the 4th Summoners Pact, is oftentimes we're boarding them out, and it can set us up to be dying the next turn to our pack trigger if we're not careful, depending on what our opponent has as well. So, like, I genuinely can't find more cards I actually want to fit into the list. So, we're a little bit heavy on lands. Luckily, we do have some utility lands like Boseiju and Pajuka Bog and the haste lands that make drawing some of those lands not as problematic. But I don't know. We're probably going to end up flooding a lot, especially in cases where we either just don't find a Titan or our opponent like discards our Titans, that sort of thing. So that is something I'm aware of, and it's definitely a flaw in the list. We're playing a full 3 copies of Tracker in the board, as well as a couple Endurances to give us some additional threats for that reason. I could even see playing like Hydroid Krasis, or one thing I thought about playing was a copy of Tyrannax Rex. Let me see if I can pull it up. This is one I have not tried yet, but I picked up a copy, or Alpha Tyrannax, I think it is. I don't remember the exact name of the card. Well, it's not searching. Hopefully it's not going to be this slow. Oh, well, I guess it doesn't exist. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to scroll through and look for it, because I don't remember the name of this card. Intijo is dying. My internet's been a little spotty lately, so it's not this one. There it is. Yeah, it is Tyrannax Rex. So this is one that I thought potentially about playing, the 7 mana 8/8. Can't be countered, trample, haste, ward 4, toxic 4. It's a great beater. It doesn't die to opponents' unholy heats. It can't be countered. It's relevant against Blood Moon since its abilities and strength don't rely on, putting lands into play or having a super crazy amount of mana. But I don't know. There's not enough spots for it. Perhaps, cutting some land, maybe even one of the Garenbrigs, moving Boseiju to the main and playing one Tyrannax could be a solution to that. But I just want to play with as many Garenbrigs as possible for today, so that's the idea. Yeah, so I don't really have a whole lot else to say, and it's been a good 10 minutes, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and get a league started here, so let's jump into it. All right, looks like we are paired. Get underway. We'll start the Garenbrigging. You know what? I'm just going to leave that where it was. This is a fascinating hand. We have a turn 3 Titan if we draw a green bounce land, but then we have Boros Garrison in hand. I suppose we lead on Boseiju Amulet, Mycosynth, copy it, and no, it's not even a turn 3 Titan, and we have Sunhome as well. This hand's not objectively bad, but we have multiple cards in hand that we don't want here, and we also don't have a green bounce land. I think it's defensible to mulligan this. We also have 2 copies of the legendary land, so we can't put both green sources in play. Ugh. I feel like if we kept it, it would be fine, but very awkward. I think I'm gonna mulligan it for simplicity's sake, but well, this hand has a plan, but it doesn't have a bounce land. We're definitely keeping this. I think it's right to bottom Dryad here in case our opponent has a discard spell for our Titan, and we can also pack for something to help us ramp to get to a Titan if we don't draw enough lands here or something like that. So, or if our Dryad gets taken, now that doesn't really make sense. It's possible keeping second Dryad would be better, but I think it's not going to be an issue. Thraben Inspector, so playing against Mono White Tax or something. Bouncing is a fantastic pickup here. So we're just going to Gruul Turf, play Dryad, and then play Mycosynth, I suppose, and have Titan this upcoming turn. Suppose our opponent could have Leonin Arbiter, and that would be kind of annoying, but not even terribly, because then we just, use the mana to copy Amulet and still go ham with Titan, so... Or actually, we can pay the 2 for the Arbiter in response to the Saga trigger, and then search for an Amulet, play Gruul Turf twice, and Titan, and still be good, so... Spirited Companion. That one is not going to do it. Our opponent could have Solitude here, I suppose. Although we have double Titan to play around that, so... It's a good thing I kept the Summoners Pact, huh? So, let's... I guess black is fine, because we'll just be copying our Amulet anyways. We have tons of mana this turn. The triggers hopefully will not just completely murder my laptop. That would not be fantastic, but make sure we're not yielding here. Play a Gruul Turf. And our opponent is very dead here, so... And our opponent scoops it up. Thank you, because my laptop does not want to handle streaming right now. It gets like this when it's late at night. So our opponent's playing mono white stuff, so the idea that they could have something like Leonin Arbiter or interaction like Path and Solitude makes me more inclined to bring in things like Tracker. Maybe not 3 though, maybe 2 Trackers is enough, but just having a way to put a threat down early in the case that we can't search our library, or that we get our Amulet's Prismatic Ending or whatever, seems good. Dismember's probably good because I anticipate they're playing Stoneforge and Cauldra. Explosives is interesting, could be good. I feel like most of their threats are on 2 or 3, though, so it's going to be a little awkward. I don't think an extra Beseiju matters. I guess they could have Vile, which we might want to Beseiju. It's probably better than Cavern, at least, from a bog. I think that's about it. We could potentially bring in explosives, but I don't really see a particular reason to do that. Trim on just a couple explorers, the extra cavern. I like having all of the sagas that we have available because it helps us play around prismatic ending. Could potentially even trim a mycosynth, but I don't really see a reason to do that. Maybe it's just another explorer. It could be one summoner's pact since we're bringing in trackers. I think trimming a pact is fine. Opponent on the play. You have another good hand. This is a turn 3, so we'll keep it. Who needs 4 copies of these cards? They just show up anyways. Adjust my screen here just a little bit. Esper Sentinel. Interesting. I mean, this is actually pretty close to being a turn 2. We'd have to play mycosynth first for that. We could also play Saga and pass, and the next turn play Amulet and pay the tax for a Sentinel, so they don't draw. And the turn after, we'll have 2 mana, we'll have 2 Amulets. I guess we could copy the 3rd Amulet, pay bounce land, and be golden. If they march our Saga, then that would be really bad. They Leon and Arbiter, it's not the end of the world, unless they also have a land destruction effect. I feel like it's worth risking leading on Saga. Maybe we play around March a little bit by going ahead and playing the Amulet and just letting them have the extra card. Maybe it's a little too preemptive, but I'm going to give it a shot because our hand's well set up to beat what our opponent most likely has going on here, so we'll see what they do. Playing the Amulet out here also means that we can mycosynth copy it this upcoming turn if they don't answer it, so another Sentinel. Well, I guess it's a good thing we just played our Amulet out because we would not have been able to pay these taxes. And if we had played the mycosynth here, we would actually have lethal. Didn't expect to actually draw the missing piece. That's okay though. We can Garenbrig in the Grazer, get mycosynth into play, and hold it up to copy Amulet, which I think is our best option. Not playing Explorer into their dorks. What is happening? There we go. Then if they go for prismatic ending or something, we can just mycosynth our Amulet. I guess actually we should just be mycosynthing right now, right? Unless they had something crazy. Like, the only thing I can think of that they'd have is engineered explosives. So I think we actually just want to do this now. I guess they could have, like, I don't know. There's nothing they could have here at instant speed that makes me concerned about copying Amulet, so I'm just going to do this and pass. And we'll just kill them next turn, so... Even Leon and Arbiter does not matter here, so I guess Solitude kind of matters. Not really, because then we just... Oh, Lauren, the... basically White's version of Reclamation Sage, killing our Saga. They're still dead, so. Now Solitude is more of a problem, though. We have 6, 10. So we can double Titan here, actually. Oh, wait, no, we have 6. So we place Sanctuary, float 4, use 2 of it to explore, go up to 6 mana floating, activate Garenbrig, using 4 down to 2, up to 8. We're 1 short of double Titan here, depending on what we hit off of our Explorer, of course. But if we miss on our Explorer, then their Sentinels trigger and they get extra cards. I think we're supposed to... I mean, I guess we're triggering Sentinel anyways with the Summoner's Pact, so we probably are supposed to explore here. Magic Online lag is gonna freaking kill me, dude. Yeah, we'll explore here. And we'll leave double white floating because we're gonna want to haste off of Valcut Slayers, probably, so... Force of Virtue. Okay. I mean, I'm not planning on paying for this, so no. I mean, it's a heads-up play from them in case I was planning on paying, but I'm not, so Beseiju doesn't do much. So we'll just go with the original plan. See if they have Solitude in addition to Force of Virtue, because if not, they're going to be in for quite a bit of discomfort here. Not lethal, though, worth noting. And we'll pick up, I guess, Castle here. This would be a spot where Cultivator would be pretty good, but here's Titan. Cast it. Opponent says, how do you Titan players always have everything? And some expletive at the end, but you know, is what it is. Right, we want Valcut and Slayers here. Thank you, opponent. You just gave me something to put in the highlights of this YouTube video. They're not dead here, so there's that. We can make them block with their thing, so they can't tap it and get value, which I guess is worth something. No, but actually, I don't think we want to do that. We have T-West already, but we need a bounce land to set up T-West, and we also would die to our pact if we don't pay here, so I guess there's really no reason to use this, so we'll just not activate a second time. Swing, yep. And so here we get Sanctuary and Sunhome. I guess we don't even have to get Sunhome here, actually. There's really no point double striking if it's not lethal, so Simic to set up our Talaria West a little bit better, and maybe another green source. I don't know if it really makes a difference. Could just get another Garenbrig. Because we don't want to die to Flicker Wisp either, which is something to be thinking about. So I guess we get Garenbrig. Seems fine. So I guess knowing that we were doing this, we should have taken the extra 2 points of damage, but really it's not a big deal, so And we'll pick up Valakut here, just in case we need to somehow do something about hasting our Titan this upcoming turn if this one gets answered. We have Boseiju at the ready for their Force of Virtue in case they're planning on doing anything with that. And we win the match. Cool. Well, that makes us 1-0. Bang. We'll hop in here for game 2. Looks like we have our match lined up here. Be on the play. We are continuously plagued by this Boros Garrison. You know, I like you, Boros Garrison. I wouldn't play Hanweir over the Boros Garrison package, but I don't like you this much. I don't need you in all my opening hands. Dude, we have the Boros Garrison and the Sunhome again. I mean, this time our green sources are not redundant, but we also would need a Mycosynth copy our Amulet. We're missing a Titan. I think I'm going to mulligan this again. Maybe it's wrong to mulligan that hand, but this hand's much better, so we'll definitely keep this. And I guess we're bottoming redundant bounce land. Castle Garenbrig hopefully looking good here. Opponent on the mull to 6 as well. Lead on Force and Amulet of Vigor and pass it back. Our opponent is on Saga. Maybe it's an Amulet Mirror. Yeah, if they just pass on Saga here, it's probably an Amulet Mirror. We'll play our Garenbrig out. And then next turn, if we draw a Grazer, then or a Titan, then we'll have enough mana to do the thing. So the opponent has Verdant Catacombs. Oh, they revealed Gigantha, didn't they? Never mind. So this is the Asmo Reanimator deck, probably. Profane Tutor. Yep, so they're going to be Goryo's Vengeancing either Emrakul's, or that was the worst draw. Either Emrakul's or, you know, Atraxa, I think the name of the card is. I'm a little bit of a mess at the moment. I guess we'll play Cavern here and name Giant. Not that it makes a difference, and then we'll just Titan them next turn. Holding on to this Bog in case they give us a reason to exile their Yard. If they have the combo here, we're just dead, so there's that. Because they can flow to mana, get Underworld Cookbook, discard an Emrakul, trigger on the stack, Goryo's it, and then we basically just die. Brainstone. That's great news for us. It means they don't have what they're looking for. Thoughtseize. Hopefully we'll just top deck a threat. Considering I was expecting to be dead this turn, I can't be complaining about a Thoughtseize, but crack Brainstone after playing Saga. So they can't, like, you know, have a fetch land, reshuffle the stuff they put back on top. When does their tutor go off? Next turn? We're probably dead next turn, then, I guess. Titan? Of course, it's a Garrison plus Sunhome again. Of course. Why would it not be? I guess we're supposed to play out Garrison? Pick up the Cavern? That way we can potentially haste next turn. We're not going to be able to do the double strike, like, combo thing, so obviously this Cavern is not mattering at all, right? Could be dead here. That Thoughtseize might have won them the game. Honestly, I don't know if a Titan would have been good enough to win that turn. Like, if we would have been able to put enough permanents into play to not have to sacrifice the Titan to, like, an Emrakul attack trigger. We could just take the 15 and then attack them with Titan for lethal, possibly, but we'd have to put... We might have enough permanents to put into play for that. Although maybe not with Boros Garrison in hand, so it would have been awkward. So we just have to hope that they're not reanimating us this turn. Looks like they're reanimating us this turn. Yep, there's the Emrakul. Here's the Goryos. We definitely can't beat this because we're sacrificing our whole board, so that's cool. Well, we have Endurances, I suppose, for this matchup, which is... We only have, like, 2, though, I think. We don't really have much for this matchup. We have Endurance. I mean, we can use Force to hit their Sagas and Cookbooks, which I guess is worth it. Boseiju does something similar, but at the cost of 2 mana and a land, I don't know that it's worth it. Tracker spewing out a bunch of clues that we can sacrifice to an Emrakul attack trigger is kind of nice, and it also helps us outvalue Atraxa, perhaps, but I don't know, it's probably not good enough. We probably just need to kill them fast, so honestly, 3 Forces are probably overboarding. Maybe we shouldn't be bringing Force at all, but trim the Caverns, trim a couple Explorers, as they are the slowest thing. Just try to kill them fast, or have Endurance at the ready. Either one, I suppose. Although, they do have Asmore, so Engineered Explosives might be worth it. Actually, I don't know if it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I feel like it's not. Let's just try to kill him. We'll be a combo deck. Honestly, if we're just being a combo deck, maybe we should be keeping Explorers over Dryads. Say yes. This matchup doesn't seem like a particularly good matchup. I've played it a couple times, so even though I'm still obviously not 100% sure what the best sideboarding strategy is against them, yeah, I mean, we have Natural Bog, but they're just going to do everything at instant speed anyways, so Force is worth something, but it's not worth that much. And this hand's not fantastic, but we have a point of interaction, and it's a functional hand, so I guess we'll keep it, but I really don't love it. We're still probably not winning with this hand, but I'd like to see a couple bounce lands, I suppose. That's the idea. See if they lead on a Cookbook here, or Thoughtseize, I guess. Yep. Honestly, I don't even know what they really take here. Probably just Endurance, I guess. Unless they're not even trying to win that way. If they're just winning with Asmore, then I guess they take Explorer and they take Endurance. Makes sense. Bounce land? Hey, alright, so we got the bounce land. We'll explore here. Saga. Yep. I mean, this is what we gotta do. I'm gonna just play out the bounce land here. Might just be getting value off of our Saga here instead of even playing the Dryad. Feels like it's gonna be really hard to win this game. Expedition map. I guess Force would be good here, too. Just force these two. Send our opponent to the Stone Age. Now, because we drew an untapped source, we can actually go Dryad in the land and still get Saga value, so that's good. And if we draw Titan, then we get to do Titan things. So Sand's shaping up better since our opponent's not really doing much. They have a Saga on too. That is a-okay with me. And we're going to get our Saga value here, obviously. Titan. It's not a Titan. So I guess we're making a dude here. Can also turn our tokens into 4/4s here. Might be worth it. Maybe we're going to win this game without even ever playing a Titan. It's possible. Swing. Probably will copy our Amulet, to be honest. To see if they want to make a token to block here. Means they're not popping map. We could also just be dead, so there's that. They just pop Saga for Cookbook, and then they have the Goryo's plus creature. Oh, they didn't block? I assumed that they would. Oops, whatever. And they're floating here. Makes sense. Haywire Might. You gonna go after my Amulet of Vigor? Is that the plan? I will copy it. Maybe we're not supposed to, actually, though, because having actual 6 mana in play means the top deck Titan sets up Valakut. So maybe we're supposed to just let the Amulet go when they might pop it. It's probably fine. So we'll just take our draw. Titan, once again. Or another Mycosynth. That's fine too, I guess. We might as well play it. Swing here. Not with Grazer, of course. We can make 2 instant speed artifacts here if our opponent doesn't block. Force them to pop the Might, I suppose. We will copy with one of the Mycosynths, since we now have 7 mana. I mean, yeah, we're doing this, so we'll float and attempt to copy that one. And when they go to Might it, we'll copy with the other Mycosynth. That way, we're not losing our... I guess we're not losing our construct either way, because they have to sack the Might. And we still want to do this, though, so we'll just do it. Suppose they could have, like, a Nature's Claim or something here, but even then, it's not like we're getting blown out. We don't need the Amulet. We just would like it. So I take in 5 here? No, 6. No, it is 5. It's 5. Tap Blood Crypt, okay. Oh, they're dead next turn, unless they have something. Actually, we can just sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Well, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and still have lethal on board through an Emrakul. So Emrakul doesn't do it now. They might just be dead here. Are you talking about me or my opponent, Rua? The cracking map? There's no way that's good enough, right? How are they cracking map? Oh yes, I am an absolute... I'm a red face menace. I'm over here tilting off like crazy. I'm so angry I'm red in the face. I don't know, I mean, our opponent is playing Through the Breach, I mean, they probably are playing Through the Breach. I meant to say Goryo's Vengeance and Emrakul and Atraxa, so... I can't believe we won that game, if I'm being completely honest, but, I mean, we take those, so... Just a classic do-nothing, just attack with my dudes game. Maybe Tireless Tracker is not so bad. I feel like it's not great. I also think that Force might actually be worth it just to hit their Sagas and Cookbooks. Like, sure, if they just kill us with Goryos, that's one thing, but actually just free Stone Raining them seems really good. Because, like, they're a very land-light deck, too. That said, Boseiju doesn't seem quite as good. And I still don't think I want to actually respect Asmore. Maybe I should, but I don't really want to, is the problem. I think I'm going to completely disrespect Asmore. Just trim another Explore here. Try to force our opponent's Saga. Or maybe we force their Saga and Cookbook. Like, they go Saga, Cookbook, and we go force it. That'd be great. So, Rua, have you gotten the itch to play Amulet yet? Have you watched me long enough to pick up the deck, or are you still just enjoying the deck, enjoying the format of the videos? We'll keep this. We'll natural Bajuka Bog them. Honestly, Bajuka Bog doesn't really do anything against them, so maybe we should just be boarding that out. Because, like, we'd have to have, like, Tribe Scout to flash in Bog and instant speed to even have this be relevant. Suppose they could, like, discard an Atraxa to get value off a Cookbook. Thoughtseize. Okay. Yeah. What formats do you play? It's pretty flexible. We won last game without ever playing a single Titan. They took our Amulet here and not our Endurance. So I guess they're off the old plan of reanimating a thing from the graveyard. If their plan is to get to Through the Breach mana, that may not work out so well for them. Although, currently our list is looking a little slow here. Also, I'm actively choosing to keep the Grazer in hand so we can pitch it to Endurance if we have to. Suspend Profane Tutor. You got it. Wait, that's Gigantha. That's Profane Tutor. This one's going to be coming off Suspend in a short while. I mean... I guess if we play Bounce Land, we can play Forest into Dryad this upcoming turn if we were to top deck it, so we'll do that. Still not playing out Grazer deliberately, so I can't just go land, Cookbook, discard, Goryos, kill us on the spot. So I'm going to move this over here because I don't like it being on the left side. Mostly standard. Yep. I actually like Arena. I only played it a bit when it first came out, and I didn't want to keep up with both Arena and MTGO. I was already pretty deep into MTGO, and Modern's my favorite format. In fact, I don't actually play any other formats, so I didn't keep up with Arena for that reason. But I like the client. I don't love the card system, though, but, I mean, it's a free-to-play game, so, like, how much can I really complain? I'm not trying to be a pro, so... Alright, I mean, we have Titan next turn using the Vesuva trick if we were to draw Titan, so we still have Endurance up, so our opponent will find it a little difficult to combo here. I guess they could have Thought Seize in addition to the combo, and then we just lose, but, I mean, there's nothing we can do about that, so let's just hope and pray. That's the plan. Yeah, the economy's not the best. It is what it is. I don't know how much praying we can do at this point, although they're about to have exactly 4 cards. It's like, or 5 cards with a draw step. And they have to choose what they're getting off this tutor before they draw, so, like, depending on what they're missing. Like, they would have to have Thoughtseize, Goryo's, Cookbook, and Land. That's 4 of their 5 cards, so we only need to top deck 1 card. We just need that 1 Titan off the top. It's a shame we don't get to see what they search for with Profane Tutor. I wouldn't be too surprised if they search for a Saga, to be honest, but okay. You're scaring me, opponent. You're scaring me. Now let's hope they just pass and set up for the combo next turn. I have a Cookbook. We can yield through the turn now. Land Goryo's thing is all they're missing. Alright, so we have a chance to top deck Titan here. Last second, we need it off the top. Let's go Titan. Or Stoner's Pact, but we'll take it. Come on, Explorer. I was not quite doing it. I gotta admit, that one's not quite doing it for me. Alright, well, we'll explore here in the hopes that we find another Endurance, I guess. Amulet. Where were you? Actually, it doesn't even matter because we don't have anything to do with that, so... Alright, well, let's play Forest, Amulet, and Grazer, and just try to get as many permanents into play as possible so we can sacrifice to the Emrakul thing and not just be going completely out of everything. I think we're just putting our Bog into play now, too. Just clog up the board with permanents. I think we're even going as far as to Vesuva Blooming Marsh here, as opposed to a bounce land, just to have as many permanents as possible, and we'll swing. So we'd sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have exactly bounce land, Dryad, Amulet in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we have to sack 6. So I guess we sacrifice Grazer, Dryad, land. Keep bounce land, Amulet, and bounce land in hand, and hope to top deck stuff. I don't know. We'd have to figure it out. Oh, they discard Daredevil. Okay, so we're not getting reanimated. They could have Asmore, though. I mean, Titan off the top is still very good. They have the Asmore. Because if we Titan, they have to choose between killing the Dryad or killing the Titan. And the Titan will set up T-West for... I don't think we brought in the explosives, actually, now I think about it. If we had explosives, then T-West for explosives would clean up the Asmo, but we don't. Still not drawing it. Well, I don't think we can actually beat this setup now, but we'll keep playing, I suppose. I'm going to put the Garrison in place, so we have green bounce land after a potential Emrakul. Pick up the Blooming Marsh, and we'll just play it as a Blooming Marsh again. Yeah, can't really complain. We put our deck together in this manner. It's our fault. I also deliberately didn't bring anything for the Asmo plan. I was assuming we wouldn't get to this point. We'd either be dead or have won, but we just didn't draw the Titan in the couple turns that we could have, so... And then Asmore came into play. I don't know. Maybe it's a misboarding on my part. Maybe it's supposed to be a matchup where we bring in explosives and dismembers and that kind of thing for just Asmore, but then we just lose to the reanimation plan, so I don't really know. But yeah, with double with double Cookbook and the Daredevil to go along with it, we're not really beating this Asmore. I guess we could get a second Amulet and then a Titan, and then have nothing. Blood Fountain. I remember this being a card that started seeing play, but I don't know what it does. Oh, it makes a blood. They can sacrifice and pay 1 to discard and draw, and then they can pay 3 and sack it to return 2 creature cards from graveyard to hand. They didn't get back the Daredevil, which is interesting. We'll keep this Grazer as a permanent in play for Emrakul. I guess we could even chump block Emrakul since it has reach. Titan, is it doing anything though? We can get a bounce land to pick up Vesuva and play Vesuva copying Bog and hit their Daredevil, which I guess is the only thing we can really do here. We're not going to be hasting, or I guess we could just pick up the Bog. So we get bounce land T-West. Can't haste here because then they just kill or have our Titan do 6 damage to itself. So that's going to be a non-thing. Yes. Suppose if we do T-West bounce land, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not even enough to get a second Titan into play. We could also just go like Mycosynth Garden T-West and then plan to do big Titan turn things next turn. Not that would really be enough either, because they'll just have the ability to kill everything we put into play. I guess they wouldn't be able to answer the second Titan after they kill this one. They'll be able to put 2 foods, and then we'll have an extra redundant Titan left over. It's really bad if they combo us, but I think maybe our best shot is T-West, Mycosynth Gardens, and copy Amulet here. I hate it, but I guess that's what we're doing. And I'm going to pick up the Vesuva now and have an extra bounce land in play, I guess. We can Vesuva Simic. We only have one TOS left too, so after this Titan dies, the next 2 Titans have to be good enough. Actually, hold on. So we'll do this, copy this now, I guess, so they can't like top deck something that kills the amulet, like a Beseiju or whatever. And we'll play Sanctuary and pick up the Vesuva, if it'll let me. And yeah, I guess we're passing it back. You can have an Oval Chase Daredevil. We've got bigger fish to fry than the 1 card in your graveyard, opponents. We're going for double Titan next turn, and you better hope that you can stop us. I don't know, maybe this will be good enough. They go for the Titan, of course. Just continue to not have the things that you need, opponent. Also, this line is better if they have a second Daredevil, because it's possible they left this one in the graveyard because they actually have a second Daredevil already. Boo! Haywire Might. Ugh, get out of here. No, that's not fair. You can't just play a card that's good in the matchup and then use it to win the game. That's not cool. I guess we can still top deck Mycosynth or second Amulet. Yep. I've been running on pretend they don't have anything for the last 5 turns, so... Yeah, how dare they play cards that are actually good against us? I can't believe they would do that. Their good cards are helping them win the game. This is absurd. I don't know. We have to... Endurance temporarily helps us solve the issue, and I don't think we want to transmute this turn, actually. So let's just pass, and then when they go for the second cookbook activation, we'll endurance them. Because we don't want to transmute this turn, because that plays into Thoughtseize. During their turn, they can Thoughtseize and take our pact and ruin our lives. I guess, actually, we could have gone for Titan this turn, and then when they go to make the second... No, but then they just kill the Titan with Asmore, so... I don't know. We're going to need a lot of work. I think holding the Vesuva is better than trying to do anything this turn, though. Yep, that's fine. It's still pass back. So with Mycosynth, we copy Amulet of Vigor, so we get extra copies of that one. And then with this on the stack, we will go ahead and Endurance. Endurance was one of the few draws that does something. Hopefully it cuts them off of Asmore so they don't get any more food tokens, and they have to discard actual cards. And hopefully they don't just have a second Daredevil. I don't know. We're probably so dead. That's just the unfortunate truth. I guess the reason to hold Vesuva here, by the way, is in case we were to draw an extra copy of Amulet. Please, Thoughtseize us. Please. Bone Shards, discarding Gigantha. Fine by me. Profane Tutor. Okay, if their last card is not Daredevil, then we kind of have a chance, especially if we were to top deck another Amulet. If we top deck another Amulet or a virtual copy of it, then we just win. Or Titan. That's an interesting one, but we can't haste. We might be able to haste 2 Titans here. So let's see. We do this. Actually, no. So we gotta actually think this through. So we play Titan like this. We get Slayer's Bounce Land, haste it. Oh, actually, no. We leave the second blue floating, use black. We get Slayer's Bounce Land, activate the Slayers on the first Titan. Oh, there's no way we have enough mana to do both of these things, right? Because we'd have to transmute and then cast another Titan. So I guess we're just putting Titan into play and attacking with it this turn, and then leaving Tellario's business for next turn? Or playing a second Titan, second main, perhaps? Alright, let's go with this. We don't have to use the T-West. The mana tapping here is very strange. That's exactly 6 right there. We have Boros Garrison up and enough to transmute second main if we need to. Yeah, we'll do this. I guess our Titan's not attacking yet. So I guess we just get second TOS Bounce Land? Oh no, we can do what we did last time. We can set up Mycosynth plus something else. So we get or maybe we just get double Mycosynth to play around another thing to interact with our amulets. I think double Mycosynth might be the play. Or at least one Mycosynth. They do have the 2 foods. So at least one Mycosynth is right. It's probably Mycosynth Bounce Land, so they can't make us discard a card in it matter, or getting another T-West into play. I think it's Mycosynth's T-West again. I still don't think we're transmuting just to play around Thoughtseize, which could be their last card. So we'll copy our Amulet here and pass, and see what we can put together. Well, I don't think Emrakul is much of a problem anymore with the amount of amulets and general permanents we have in play, so... they don't have our Titan get rid of itself. They don't get to cast Profane Tutor yet. I think they're going to be a turn off of that card mattering, which is very good for us. Like how I can't tell which... There it is. It has 1 time counter on it. I think it's going to be 1 turn too late. So they can deal with this Titan, make 2 clues... Or not 2 clues. Make 2 foods, deal with a second Titan, but can they deal with 3 Titans? That is the question. I think the answer... we will very shortly find out to be no. And the third Titan will be lethal because we can double strike it for 16. They would have to block with Asmore, so I guess they're not technically dead to the third Titan, but I think they're effectively dead. Interesting. This is actually turning out to be a rather interesting set of games. So I guess what we're going to want to do is copy Boros here just to make sure we have enough red and white to do all the things we want to do. And we'll pick up T-West here after floating. Pick up T-West. Gosh, the slowness of this is going to kill me. The second Titan will set up the third Titan, and that'll be our last T-West. I'm really glad I chose the T-West Mycosynth lines both times. Oh, we only have one Titan left, too. That's fascinating. See, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is enough. But I guess we want to leave... we don't necessarily want to leave double white float. Although, we'd only have to taste 2 Titans here, so we'll leave double white so we can set up Valcut in case somehow everything just goes false. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... double bounce lane is definitely enough to set up another Titan and attack with both here. So it's kind of amazing that we're actually winning this game. So we'll get Simic. I guess we didn't need to kill Asmore to be able to win this game, huh? I really need to call the internet company here because I'm supposed to be getting faster internet than I am, and I've complained before, and then it magically shot up by like double, but it's gone back down since they've had some recent issues or something, and it's just not gotten fixed. But we'll pick up T-West. This is painfully slow. This is painfully slow. Pick up Bog, I guess. Transmute. Get Pact. Get Titan. Float some. Play Titan, leaving the white floating so we can haste off of Valcut Slayers. And then on the attacks, whichever one gets through, we will double strike it. And that should hopefully be good enough. So we get Slayer Stronghold, Valcut. Mycosynth doing great things here. There's not lines that you typically have access to with Amulet, but this is one of the new things you can do. So I guess Mycosynth helps us against Asmodex. Alright, I dare say we might have this one locked up. They do get a card off of their Profane Tutor here. So we're not completely out of the woods, but yield to these. We definitely need to make them block with this Asmo so they can't kill our remaining Titan. So, oh, they're letting us attack with both Titans? That's gotta be wrong. So we'll say yes to this. We'll get, I guess, I was not expecting to be able to search for multiple lands here. We'll get Sanctuary, Boseiju. Man, if only we had a third T-West to search for here. I think that would have actually locked it up, considering they let us attack with both of these. Actually, this means that they are dead this turn, because we can Boseiju one of their food tokens before they get the second one. So doing this costs them the game, I'm pretty sure. So we'll pick up the Boseiju here. By the way, this is why I play a second copy of Sanctuary. Some lists only play one Sanctuary, but sometimes there's a Sanctuary already in play and you need to search for the second one, and this is for that corner case. So getting rewarded. Get Gruul Turf and Sunhome here, just to make absolutely certain we have a bounce lane in hand for one, and also that we have enough mana to both hold up Boseiju and double strike both remaining Titans. I think our opponent actually lost the game by letting us attack with both. They concede the game. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest. I expected to lose that match, but on the other hand, we are now 2-0, so that's cool. Let's hop in here for the next match. I can't believe that worked. I got to take a little bit of credit for recognizing that we had the Boseiju line available after they let us attack with both Titans, but yeah. We beat their Haywire Might. Their OP Haywire Might that was totally unfair. All right. Death from Above as our opponents. Very ominous username. They're trying to say that we're about to lose to our opponent because, yeah, I don't know why they would let both Titans attack. Honestly, we maybe still had lethal if it's possible that attacking with one Titan we could get, actually, I don't think we would have had double white or double red, whichever one we were lacking, to be able to double strike both Titans and still set up Boseiju, but it's possible there was a line there that didn't require our opponent making a mistake if we had, left up enough, white mana or something like that. This hand's interesting, by the way. Thank goodness we don't have Sunhome or Boros in hand. That, number one. Number two, turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Mycosynth sets up for a turn 3 double Amulet setup, but we don't have any other ramp, but we have 2 draws at ramp, or 3 draws at ramp to find it, plus a T-West Transmute if we don't. I'm keeping this. Hopefully our opponent doesn't remove our Urza Saga. Also, I do like the numbers, because this list is only playing 3 Gardens, 3 Sagas, but, it feels like we just have exactly enough copies of these cards to draw them or search for them when they're relevant. Also, our opponent played Turn Timber, which is probably not the Mirror, I hate to say. It's probably Belcher or Oops All Spells or something. I have not seen those decks in a while, unless it is Amulet. Waterlogged Grove. Oh no, this is Neoform. Oh no, this is Neoform. Oh my gosh, it was actually an Omen. Yep, we are super dead to this. Our opponent might lose to themselves here, though, if they have to cast Summoner's Pact. Mox Amber. They do cast a Summoner's Pact. We just have to hope that they kill themselves instead of killing us, which is not looking super likely. I'm also curious to see how they're winning here. There's a couple different win cons in this deck now. Some people are playing Aetherflux Reservoir, for example. Some people are playing, a list that requires you to loop Endurance and Mox Ambers, going to the graveyard, netting a black in every loop, and then casting a card to get something from the sideboard, and whatever it is they get from the sideboard kills you. There's some that are killing with Thrasta and a bunch of copies of Heritage Druid plus Allosaurus Riders. Our opponent's pausing here, which makes me hope that we just won the game. And by we winning the game, I mean our opponent losing themselves the game by accident, which is kind of what Neoform does. It's been a while since I played against Neoform and they stalled on the combo and died, so I'm kind of hoping for that here. They have 33 cards in hand and they can't find a way to kill us. If I had 33 cards in hand, let me tell you, oh, we didn't have to do anything. I love Neoform. This is my favorite matchup. It will not last, trust me. And honestly, I think our plan against them is to just hit submit. I guess changing Bog for an actual green source is going to be good. Force doesn't really do anything. Dismember doesn't really do anything either. Yeah, I think that's the only change we're making. You just need to kill them fast. And we get to be on the play in game 3, so... Wow. So skilled. I just won against Neoform on my turn 1, their turn 2. This hand does not win the game, so we're going to mulligan it. Then again, we may not need to win the game. Maybe our opponent will win the game for us, like they did in game 1. It's a double Amulet hand. We're missing a Titan primarily, but we'll definitely keep this. And bottom the Valakut. They could potentially have Pact of Negation, in which case Cavernous Souls will be good. So actually, do they play Pact of Negation? I don't think they do. Maybe there was a point in time when they did. They might be just turn 1 Neoform comboing us here. That would be special. Serum Visions, so I guess not. They could have Force the Vigor, which would be very sad. So I guess for that reason, we'll only play out 1 Amulet, and if they want to force Amulet plus Dryad, then we'll have a backup Amulet, and otherwise, we'll play the Amulet in the turn we plan to combo with a Titan. Titan off the top? Okay. Whew. Don't get too excited now, okay? We still have a lot of work to put into this win, like surviving until turn 3, to say the first bit. We could also draw a Grazer and just kill them this upcoming turn. It would only be actually perfect if we were to draw Arboreal Grazer or Summoner's Pact and kill them this turn. That'll never happen though, right? Ooh, Dryad. Does that do it? 4, play first Dryad, up to 5. I think Dryad actually does it here, so that is assuming our opponent doesn't interact. But that may not be a good assumption. We'll find out. At the very least, we'll get a Dryad into play. But I'm pretty sure this Dryad actually lets us kill them, so... I asked for a Grazer, but what I didn't know is that Dryad was here to give us a secret gift. Stupid, sexy Dryad arriving just in time to win the game and save the day against the Neoform Menace. No way. We should not be winning this match. Amulet should never win a match against Neoform. It's always a rare thing. It's like spying a unicorn. Seeing a unicorn, spying a unicorn, however you want to say it. This never happens. You've witnessed something great today. Our opponent didn't force the Vigor us, by the way. That was one of the things I was worrying in the back of my head about, and then they didn't do it. And I'm also gonna keep Bounce Land in hand here in case they, I don't know, use a bounce spell on our Titan, I guess? They could have Echoing Truth. That's the thing. I think that the only thing they have here is a hope and a prayer that we have one of the combo lands in hand, but thank goodness this one time we don't. Every other match we've played, Boros Garrison and Slayer Stronghold and Sunhome have just shown their ugly faces. But when it really mattered, they stayed the heck away, and I'm so glad. We are currently 3-0. What the heck? I'll take it. I'm not complaining. Trust me, I'm not. And we'll jump in here for the 4-0, hopefully. Hopefully. Literally, the last league I played before coming on stream was a 2-3 league. So you can imagine, and the league before that was a 3-2 league. So you can imagine my shock when I come on the stream and magically, it's a 3-0 league, of course. Played against Selfie-Zek. We'll come over here and say yes. I've played against Selfie-Zek several times before, but I actually have no clue what it is that they're on. And this hand doesn't have a busted Amulet opener, so we'll mulligan. This hand has some busted Amulet... I mean, we don't have the bounce land, but this qualifies as busted Amulet opener, I would say. Do we bottom the Bog and hope our opponent doesn't care about Majuka Bog, or do we just bottom Redundant Pact? I feel like we're just in Bounce Land waiting room, so we'll just bottom Redundant Pact and keep the Bog and hope that it buys us some time. Leading on Forest here. Bounce Land, this is a turn 3 kill. Inspiring Vantage? Is it Burn? Riftbolt. Oh my goodness. I love Burn, dude. I love playing as Burn. And we drew the Bounce Land, so we're just blessed today, apparently. Let's not, please, for the love of God, draw one of the haste combo Bounce Lands. That's the thing that we want to avoid here. Although, against Burn... it would probably be, okay, we could probably survive the 1 extra turn, being on the play especially, we could probably survive the 1 extra turn, and having drawn the Boros Garrison or whatever not matter too much. But if we draw Sunhome or Vesuva, that's fine. Like, we don't have to kill them. But if we draw Boros or Slayers, that would be a little tragic. Swifty, good old Taylor Swift Spear, Skewer. Alright, opponent. As long as our top of the deck is not unkind to us, and it wasn't, you are dead. So we'll cast a Summoner's Pact, get a Primeval Titan, hit 5 to make sure we're not yielding to our amulets like stupid people. I have done that sometimes. It's not pretty. I'm not even going to bother making Titan uncounterable because that would require me to click each individual mana pip, and I don't want to do that. So here's a Primeval Titan just coming straight into play. No extra clicks required, and our opponent's dead. We'll get Boros Garrison and Slayer Stronghold. We're just vibing. No big deal. We'll haste this one, and we'll haste it again. Pick up the Slayer Stronghold. Now it can be in hand. That's fine. Attack with all creatures. Get Vesuva Sunhome, and our opponent is dead. D-E-D, dead. Just gotta make sure I don't click myself to death here by clicking the wrong land. Pretty decent, I'd say. List looking pretty hot right now, gotta admit. Bang. There we go. Okay, we're well on our way here. Against Burn, we would like Engineered Explosives to deal with their 1-drops, and potentially Alpine Moon. I've seen that on occasion. We want Boseiju because it's a green source and also kills Eidolon, and it's better than Bog. And we'll trim 1 Explorer because it would do us damage against an Eidolon, most likely, but Explorer is better than Force, in my opinion, so we'll just run it this way. Also, having Castle Garenbrig is kind of nice in this matchup, because if they do smash to Smithereens and Amulet or something, then Garenbrig letting us get to Titan mana a little easier and being very easy on the mana base. It's pretty nice. Garenbrig playing around a Wear and Tear expertly. This is an interesting hand. We get the turn 1 blocker, turn 2 Dryad, explosives to clean up a multiple 1-drop start. We'll keep it. It's not the most busted opener, but I think it does what it needs to. We just need to draw a land and a Titan. My opponent does not kindly lead on a Goblin Guide for us to help us out. Very sad. And I guess we'll just put in Forest, and we'll go Misty, get another Forest next turn to be able to get our Dryad into play, not exposing our bounce land to like something crazy, I guess. Also, in case we were to top deck Amulet into Titan, it's better to keep bounce land in hand, so. Well, we also drew second bounce land, so that's good. Let's actually not fetch, just so we save the extra point of life. We'll name Giant here to summon Primeval Titan to the top of the deck. But yeah, we're gonna keep the Misty in hand so we can use it to kill with Valakut, perhaps. Or, opponent has Boros Charm, that's fine. They're getting their F6 value. Sweet, sweet F6 value. I'm going to play Rot Farm here, because then our opponent, if they have Alpine Moon, will have to name Rot Farm. And we have only a few Rot Farms in deck and not like a ton of Simic Growth Chambers. We have 4 of these, so we'd rather them have to name this if they have it. Not that it really will make a difference, but Explosive's doing literally nothing here, so that's cool, I guess. Tear, sure. Eidolon, we will Explosives it. Opponent's on the mono burn draw. They've got some canyons. Another Dryad, okay. Yeah, let's just go ahead and play the bounce land out now. All right, we would like to top deck a Titan. That's all. And we're going to go ahead and play Explosives on 2 here preemptively against a potential Eidolon, so we don't have to take the damage. It's bad against Smash if they have exactly Smash to Smithereens, but yep. So Titan off the top will just end the match on the spot, and we wouldn't have to worry about Deflecting Palm, which they might have. No Titan just yet, so we'll play land, fetch land, and I guess I'm not attacking in case they were to draw 2 1-drop creatures, like their last card is like a Goblin Guide or something, and they top deck Swift Spear. We could very easily be dead here. I would guess that their last card was probably land, based on the fact they sacked both Sunbite Canyons. If they only sacked 1 and then played a burn spell, then they probably didn't have land in hand, but that or like a redundant, like non-useful spell specifically for this matchup, like Deflecting Palm or Wear and Tear or whatever. Explorer could find us a Titan, so let's start there. Titan, Valakut, that works. That does something. Probably should save targets, but I'll do it on the next Valakut trigger. That's fine. There we go. Sorry, figured it out. And now that we have instant speed, I guess we don't want to fetch down to 6, though. Now I think about it, so we're probably still not attacking, but we're at the point where we need to hope that they have 1 blank in hand still. And I guess we'd rather have the white mana in play for naturally hasting or double striking, so we'll pick up the Rot Farm and start doing this with Rot Farm instead. And then we have lethal next turn without drawing any single card, so we'll just pass here. Luckily, we have some blockers blanking. Oh, they didn't even cast an end-of-turn burn spell, huh? That's really good for us. All right, opponent should be dead here, so Titan off the top would just be insult to injury, but we don't have it, so we'll play our land out. Not attacking with Dryad if we at all don't have to. Deflecting Palm. Okay, that is a burn spell, I suppose. So land plus fetch plus attack with Dryad is lethal, so I don't think it matters. Oh, but if we fetch here, we lose to Bolt. If we fetch here, we lose to Bolt, but if we pass, we might lose to double burn spell. What is more likely, them having exactly Bolt, or them having 2 burn spells after untapping? They have already used 1 Bolt. I think I'm just going to die to Bolt. If they have Bolt, then they deserve it. We called their bluff. You didn't have Lightning Bolt ever, and I knew it. I freaking knew it. And that means that we are now 4-0. Holy moly. I did not in a million years expect this to be going this well, but, you know, that's okay. Let's hop in here for match 5 like nothing's happening. On the play, very blessed to be on the play. All right, another turn 2 hand would be great. It's just turn 2 our opponent. I don't know if we had any turn 2s this league, actually. Gigantha has been revealed. We have Natural Bog against potential Breach deck. We have the Bounce Land. Double Saga sets up double Amulet. We don't play Expedition Map, which is worth noting, but we even have Bounce Land plus Titan rolled up in our T-West, so I think we're keeping this. All right, we'll play our Saga here. Swing it back to our opponent. Aha! We're playing against Prowess. I love playing against the Prowess matchup. It's not necessarily a good matchup for us, but that Amulet was a fantastic draw. It's not necessarily a great matchup for us, but it's always fun. Like, some decks, even though I don't really affect it that much, some decks really frustrate me based on the play patterns. Prowess is not one of those decks. Prowess is just a good, fair RDW, like, kill you fast sort of strategy, and I respect it. And, like, sure, it's a bad matchup. Sometimes we lose the Blood Moon or whatever. Look, what other deck in the format plays Bomat Courier? Like, come on. Like, this is just pure and simple, 100% fair RDW, and I'm totally here for it. Also, that Explorer might be winning us the game. I can't tell at the moment. I'd have to do the math, but that might be a game-winning draw. I don't think it's enough to get up to T-West and cast Titan mana, though. So we have 6, Dryad up to 7, Explorer down to 5, up to 9. Oh yeah, Explorer is a game-winning draw, so that's cool, I guess. Hit 5, so we're not dying to our own Amulet triggers. Yep, Explorer actually wins us the game here, so that's cool. Assuming we don't draw something really horrendous. Mycosynth Gardens does not count as really horrendous. Is there a way to weave that in? Or we play Gardens copy, play Dryad, play Bounce Land? No, that actually cuts us off of Titan, so we actively don't want to do that here. Yeah, so we'll just keep with the original plan. Here's Dryad, and up to exactly 9 mana to haste and go in with our Titan for exactly 20 damage, and they have exactly 1 blocker. They could have, like, they could have mutagenic growth to throw off our combat damage math here, which is a little scary. I'm going to keep the Bounce Land in hand here, actually, because if this doesn't work out, we can get a 3rd Amulet into play this upcoming turn and go from there. Pick a Summoner's Pact here. We'll pick a Titan here. If they have exactly mutagenic growth, then we'll still be doing a ton of damage to them and eating their Dragon's Rage Channeler for breakfast, so I'm just going to go for the combat here, because I guess we would potentially lose to double bolt our Titan. Is that something we need to be worried about? Nah, maybe? Because we do want to be concerned about, I don't know, I'm not going to go out of my way to play around mutagenic growth and double bolt. I feel like that's just ridiculous. If it happens, then they have it, and that, you know, is what it is. But, I mean, step 1 of them is to not be already dead, and they're F6'd right now, so probably thinking a little too much. That's one thing. Once you, like, have gotten so comfortable with Amulet, you can easily play around a lot of things. You then start to lose matches because you overthink situations and play around things that don't, actually matter, but seem like they can be played around in your head. Like, you just lose to yourself in some situations because you're thinking too much for your own good. It's kind of funny how that works. Yeah, but we're definitely going for the lethal attack here. Opponent is dead if they don't have mutagenic growth, and they don't. Like I said, worrying about nothing. Yet another matchup where we love to win game 1, because games 2 and 3 are going to be a little more complicated with Blood Moon potentially in the mix. I don't know that I love bringing in Force until we actually see it, though. Overplaying around things is definitely dangerous, yeah. I guess Endurance is good against DRC and against Underworld Breach, so that makes sense to me. Tracker is good specifically if they have Moon, but it also just dies to all their burn effects, so I don't really love Tracker in this matchup. Cavern of Souls is a non-factor. Explorer is a little slow, but not bad. Honestly, in a list that's more capable of getting to double Amulet, I feel like I should stop siding out Explorer as much as I do. Trim 1 Explorer, though. I think it's okay to at least trim 1. They could have Alpine Moon or Blood Moon, so shaving on some Sagas makes sense. Honestly, maybe just cutting Saga. I don't hate that. We don't have to have double Amulet to kill them, and we also have Garenbrig as an additional accelerant, so we're good there. I think just trimming another Explorer and going this way makes sense. Could potentially cut a Summoner's Pact, I guess. Maybe keeping Explorer over Summoner's Pact is better. I don't know. I feel like cutting all the Sagas in this matchup makes sense. Well, this hand plays around Blood Moon. We don't have anything else going on, though. Got no blockers for their dudes. If we top deck Dryad into Titan, this is a turn 3. Assume they'd have no interaction for our Amulet. We're on the draw as well. Honestly, the most likely scenario is for us to just draw land. We have like half of our deck lands or more. We have Boseiju, which is good against Breach, but only marginally. Such a weird hand. Kind of feel like we should keep it, though. If we just draw land into, like, dead, like land into Titan and just lose on turn 3 or turn 4, that'd be really bad, but, like, we could pitch this and get a way worse hand, but we also might get a more functional hand. But, like, this hand plays around Blood Moon and Magus. It plays potentially into turn 3 Titan, depending on our draws, and we're on the draw as well. I think we can afford to mulligan to look for a Grazer hand, though. Oh yeah, this hand is literally the last hand, but plus 1 relevant card, so really glad I chose to mulligan there. Well, bottom Growth Chamber, I suppose. Keeping both forced to play around potential Blood Moon shenanigans. Garenbrig, maybe going to be putting in some work this game. Not Shinka. Also, the fact that these lands see play in Modern, I mean, I know it's probably because of, like, Ragavan, but the fact that the legendary Kamigawa lands see play, like Shinka and Shizo, I think that's super cool. All right, well, now we have literally the last hand, but plus 1 Dryad, so. And switching out for Castle Garenbrig, which is an upgrade in my book. We even get to leave Bounce Land and play here now and just develop our mana maximally. We can play Bounce Land, pick up Forest, play Dryad, then play Garenbrig, and then even if they kill our Dryad, we can still play Bounce Land and Titan the turn after, assuming we draw it, because of Castle Garenbrig. Yo, Voldaren Epicure. Oh, I get it. I didn't piece it together when our opponent played Bomat Courier, but this is actually the 8 Blast deck. They have Shrapnel Blast and Galvanic Blast. That's why they're playing these artifacts. It only just registered with me. Okay. I mean, I don't know that it changes my boarding that much, but it is interesting to note. Our opponent's almost out of gas here. Endurance would be a good draw. Another Amulet is alright. I mean, it's really pretty unnecessary here. I guess it plays around Smash to Smithereens or something. So we'll still do the same. Actually, no. They don't usually play Smash. They usually play Shattering Spree, which they can replicate and kill both Amulets, so we actually don't want to play out our Amulet here. So instead, we'll play Simic, and then we'll play Dryad, Garenbrig. Same plan as last turn, as if this Amulet that we drew does not exist in our hand, and play Castle and pass. Yeah, so now if we draw Titan, we'll just be golden here. They have Experimental Synthesizer, cool card. 1 mana. The exile the top card, and they can play it until their next turn, and then they can pay 3 and crack it to get a 2/2 and get a retrigger of the effect. Enter or leave. Yep. Shrapnel Blast the Dryad. Okay. Well, that doesn't actually matter thanks to the fact that we're hiding this Amulet. Not that it would have mattered anyways, because we still could have played Titan, but this Amulet means Titan top decking would just win immediately, but we don't have it, so that's fine. Again, we're still going to hold on to this Amulet in case they have Shattering Spree. We're starting to run out of time here. We need to top deck this Titan ASAP. If they have 2 more Blast effects, then we could just be dead. Or a Bolt plus a Blast, I suppose. Aha! We played around that one. Fooled you, opponent. All right, Titan. I mean, Dryad's a blocker. Not for the DRC, but I mean, honestly, we might just be dead here. We'll play Land, Dryad, Sanctuary, pick up Forest. Honestly, I don't think we even play the Amulet just yet either, because they would give our opponent a potential Shrapnel Blast target, so assuming we chump block this construct, we're taking 4 down to 2, and we have exactly 1 more turn to top deck Titan if our opponent doesn't have a burn spell. Yeah, knowing that they're on Blast, we probably want to bring in forces for specifically Urza Saga. Alright, do they have the Bolt? They have the Blast. Alright, they got us. Game 3. I don't know, Force against exactly Urza Saga does not excite me the most. I also think that it's fine to have Saga now that we know that they're playing their own Sagas. They're not going to be killing their own Sagas with Alpine Moons and Blood Moons, so Explorer probably not really the most necessary here. And also, Dismember not really as good against them since they're more on the blast thing than like a prowess type strategy. So I guess we'll have Explorers over Dismembers. Bog against DRC specifically matters, but against other things it doesn't. I think we can trim Bog. Hopefully we don't have to like survive exactly 1 turn. They just kill us with DRC in the air because we can't Bog them. That is technically possible, but I'm not worried about it. Do we bring in Force or not? I feel like 1 Force is defensible. It might also just be the worst card in our hand / deck. I don't know. I'm going without it. They can Saga us. That's fine. All right, we will be on the play. Last game of the league. Let's get a good hand for all the marbles. Okay, so we get a turn to explore here. We have Endurance to mess with their DRCs. Amulet very quickly unlocks this into a Titan hand. I feel like it's debatable, but a keep. If we mulligan to try to find an Amulet, then we just get blown out by Shattering Spree anyways, so we'll just keep it. Hold our Boseiju in case we top deck a basic Forest. Yeah, Endurance slowing down their clock by blocking and turning DRC off should be good here, so. Oh, Ragavan. Ugh, that one's not great. Don't really have a way to deal with that yet, but we want to play Saga or Bounce Land here. I guess Saga. We want to potentially make blockers for this Ragavan, and we definitely want to get this Amulet ASAP fast. Especially getting Amulet instant speed so we can copy it during our turn, or not instant speed, but during our turn, rather than having it have to sit and play will be nice. So hit a Growth Chamber, which is fine because we didn't want to top deck that one anyways. They do play Alpine Moon? Oh, it says opponents. Well, I guess we got there. That's really bad for us. Now we need to top deck an untapped source to be able to slam Dryad or Endurance. Probably Dryad. Untapped source. I mean, it's a hard way to go about it, but I'm definitely doing it. It's way more important to not be taking hits from this Ragavan if at all possible. We want to keep this one, so definitely worth the price. And we'll put Dryad into play and try to get our land ramping going. Pick up Besaidu, I guess, in case they find a Saga. Whew, I was not expecting Alpine Moon, to be honest. For some reason, I thought it affected all players, not just opponents. So maybe trimming Sagas was right. We're only playing 3 Sagas anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Definitely blocking this Ragavan since our opponent's stuck on lands. If they want to bolt/blast our Dryad, that's fine. They do have it. Not surprising. We'll be able to flash in Endurance and surprise our opponent. So we'll play this one, pass it to our opponent, yield until their attack step, so they think that we're F6. They do have the Saga, Swift Spear, yep. Now they can't even bolt us. All right, so let's play our Endurance. Reshuffle their graveyard, get this DRC out of play. I yielded to this, but it didn't do anything. Oh, I'll just hit OK, I guess. We'll block the DRC for sure. We're doing great here, I gotta say. Amulet lets us actually just get Titan into play this turn. And kill them, actually, because of the Mycosynth. Do we play Valakut here or Bounce Land? Probably just Bounce Land so we can Titan next turn and also hold up Besaidu. I don't think I'm bothering killing their Saga either, so they can have a Saga, that's fine. And not attacking, because there's really no point in doing so. It just plays into like a dashed Ragavan. Rather have the blocker and just not be dead, because the more not dead we are, the more likely we are to be winning, so Epicure. And cracking the Blood token does not bode well for our opponent. Place tokens on. I mean, we're about to get Titan into play, and that should be very difficult for our opponent to deal with. Epicure. I mean, they could potentially have a bunch of blast effects as well. Oh, and we just draw the Titan. That's cool, I guess. So now we don't even have to pack. We're definitely just slamming Titan here. I guess getting Bounce Land Valakut so we can set up for a Dryad kill this upcoming turn. Yeah, that seems good to me. Just keep Bounce Land in hand here, I guess. Still not attacking because there's no point in taking extra damage. Feeling pretty good about our spot. They get to Saga here, and they're making a token. That has got to be good news for us. That has got to be good news. If they hold up a blast effect for Dryad, that will not be good enough because we can pack for double Dryad here. So they don't even have any mana up. So let's just pack, and they might just scoop that. So show them a Dryad, and we'll play it, I suppose. We'll pack for second Dryad just for prosperity. Play second Dryad, play Valakut, and save targets upstairs. And then go to combat and attack, get Vesuva, and something else. And our opponent will be quite dead. This time we can attack with Endurance. We'll get Talaria West for good measure. Copy Valakut. Send a bunch of triggers at our opponent's face. Always yes, the last Valakut. And easy path to the 5-0 victory. Nice. Whew. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. But I'm not complaining. Let me fix this record. That went so much better than expected. I guess I have to take pictures of this for Twitter clout. Maybe we'll get a 5-0 list posted that's only playing 3 Urza Sagas. That's not something anybody else has really done. Not since the card became an auto 4 of, at least. Well, officially, that's the league. 5-0. You heard it here. Garenbrig is obviously broken. I mean, anecdotally, though, Garenbrig did legitimately do a lot of work for us and this set of matches. I feel like Garenbrig just helping us play around the hate and giving us an untapped source and all kinds of other benefits is nice. Not being constantly Gardens and Saga flooded is nice as well. I think maybe it's fine to just go ahead and play the 4th Saga and map. I don't know what the cuts would be, though, to be honest. I could see going -1 Mycosynth +1 Saga and then just making a cut somewhere. Probably one of the untapped sources, I would guess, or something like that to fit in a map. But I really like this list in general. The sideboard came in handy. We didn't play against like Scam, where the trackers would have been really good, or the Murktide matchup, where we'd have trackers plus defense grids and 3 Besaidus to be able to deal with Blood Moons and that sort of thing. Dismembers are good against a variety of matchups as well. So I don't know. This list did well, and I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot that I change about it. This is kind of a little bit where I'm at with Amulet at the moment. I don't think I like the full 4 copies of both of these lands with the exact split. I haven't really been able to figure out. I'm kind of a fan of trimming on Saga just a little bit and being a little less reliant on a land that is so easily hated. But it's definitely very controversial and not something I've seen a lot of other people doing, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't know, maybe it's a good choice though. And yeah, let me know if you guys have suggestions in the comments for things you'd like to see me play on the stream, things that you'd like to see me play on the YouTube. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me for this league. And if you're not already subscribed, then subscribe. And if you're not following on Twitch, then follow. And I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Redface Menace, signing off.